Vagina presence. Vagina presence. Circulatory system in humans. Programmed by John Ferguson Aditi. Learning objectives. After learning this unit, you should be able to 1. Explain the concept of the circulatory system. 2. Outline the functions of the parts of the circulatory system. 3. Describe the composition and functions of blood. 4. Explain how high and low blood pressure develops in the circulatory system. Circulatory system.
What is the purpose of the circulatory system in humans?
The circulatory system in humans is responsible for transporting materials throughout the entire human body. It transports nutrients, water and oxygen to your billions of body cells, and carries away wastes, such as carbon dioxide the cells produce. The human circulatory system functions to transport blood and oxygen from the lungs to the various tissues of the body. It involves the circulation of blood, pumped out of a special organ called the heart, through thousands of tubes called blood vessels around the body.
What are the essential components of the circulatory system?
1. The heart. 2. The blood vessels. 3. The blood. 1. The heart. The heart is the key organ in the circulatory system. The heart is the organ that controls the circulation of blood in mammals. It pumps blood throughout the body. It is a large, muscular organ, pear-shaped, and lies in the thorax, between the lungs but shifted slightly to the left. The heart is about the size of a clenched fist. The heart lies between the lungs, and just to the left of the middle of the chest cavity. The longitudinal section of the heart reveals 4 chambers, namely 1. Right atrium, or auricle. 2. Right ventricle. 3. Left atrium, or auricle. 4. Left ventricle. The bottom part of the heart is divided into 2 chambers, called the right and left ventricle, which pumps blood out of the heart. The upper part of the heart is made up of the other 2 chambers called the right and left atria, which receives the blood entering the heart. Separating the left atrium, or auricle, and left ventricle, is the bicuspid valve. On the other hand, the tricuspid valve separates the right atrium, or auricle, and the right ventricle. The parts of the heart are shown in the figure below. The heart is seen from the front in the diagram. So the right side of the heart is shown on the left of the diagram. The left side is also shown on the right side of the diagram. The following pictures illustrate the heart. Parts of the circulatory system of humans, and their functions. 1. Outer. It carries oxygenated blood from the heart to all parts of the body. 2. Vena cava. It brings into the heart deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body. 3. Pulmonary vein. It transports oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. 4. Pulmonary artery. It transports deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs for gas exchange. 5. Right atrium or auricle. It relaxes and expands to receive deoxygenated blood from the vena cava. It contracts to pump blood under pressure into the right ventricle. 6. Right ventricle. It relaxes and expands to receive blood from the right atrium or auricle. It contracts to pump blood under pressure into the lungs through pulmonary artery. 7. Left atrium, or auricle. It relaxes and expands to receive oxygenated blood from the lungs, through the pulmonary vein. 8. Left ventricle. It relaxes and expands to receive blood from the left atrium, or auricle. It contracts to pump oxygenated blood under pressure to all parts of the body, through the aorta. 9. Tricuspid valve. It prevents the backflow of blood from the right ventricle into the right atrium, or auricle. 10. Bicuspid valve. It prevents the backflow of blood from the left ventricle into the left atrium, or auricle. Functions of the heart. 1. It is responsible for the pumping of deoxygenated blood to the lungs, so that blood is oxygenated for tissue respiration. 2. It is responsible for the pumping of oxygenated blood to other parts of the body, for oxygen to be used. 2. Blood vessels. Blood vessels are the system of tubes, through which the heart pumps blood round the body. Thus, the term blood vessels are the tubes that carry blood round the body. There are 3 main types. These are: 1. Arteries. 2. Veins. 3. Capillaries. 1. Arteries. They carry oxygenated blood away from the heart under high pressure, or they are the vessels through which blood flows out of the heart. An artery has a 3-layered wall. If an artery is cut, there is a rapid loss of blood. Bleeding may be stopped by pressing on a wound, or by pressure at a point where the artery comes near to the skin surface and runs close to a bone. 2. Veins. Veins carry deoxygenated blood back to the head, under low pressure, or they are the vessels through which blood flows into the heart. They have thinner and less muscular walls than arteries. They tend to be closer to the surface of the body than arteries. Blood in the veins is at a lower pressure than in the arteries. Unlike arteries, veins have valves at intervals along their lengths, to prevent backflow of blood. Three. Capillaries. Capillaries are very narrow, single-cell layer or thin-walled tubes. There are thousands of them, hence are found in a network. Capillaries link small arteries or arterioles to small veins or venules. They are responsible for the exchange of materials between blood and cells, or tissues. As the blood flows through them, water, oxygen and dissolved food diffuse out through the thin walls to the surrounding cells. At the same time, waste materials diffuse out of the cells into the capillaries. In this way, capillaries provide materials that the cells need and remove waste products from the cells. Capillaries also play an important role of regulating our body temperature. Differences between veins and arteries. 1. Veins carry blood to the heart, arteries carry blood away from the heart. 2. Veins have valves, but arteries have no valve. 3. Veins carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary vein, but arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. 4. Veins carry blood under low pressure, but arteries carry blood under high pressure. 5. Veins are smaller in size, but arteries are bigger in size. 6. Veins have inelastic walls, but arteries have elastic walls. 7. Blood flows through veins smoothly, but in arteries blood flows through, in pulses. 8. Veins have thin walls, but arteries have thick walls. 9. Veins are located close to the surface of the skin, but arteries are located deep in the muscles. 10. The largest vein is the vena cava, but the largest arteries is the outer. 11. Smaller veins are called venules, but smaller arteries are called arterioles. This picture illustrates the blood vessel. Study it well. Composition and functions of blood.
What is blood?
Blood is a fluid that transports dissolved substances around the body. It also carries blood cells that have a variety of functions. The blood is composed of the following. 1. Plasma. 2. Blood cells. Plasma.
What is plasma?
Plasma is a straw-colored watery medium of the blood. The plasma transports the following. 1. Dissolved food substances, such as glucose and amino acid. 2. Mineral salts. 3. Hormones. 4. Blood proteins, such as fibrinogen and albumin. Blood cells. There are 3 types of blood cells, namely 1. Red blood cells. 2. White blood cells. 3. Blood platelets. This picture illustrates how the blood vessels look like when viewed using a microscope. One. Red blood cells. The red blood cells are formed in the marrow of the bones, and are released into the blood. The red color of the blood is as a result of the presence of hemoglobin in the red blood cells. Hemoglobin is an iron compound, which combines with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. The red blood cells transports oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin to tissues all over the body. Oxyhemoglobin gives up oxygen when it reaches the tissues of the body that have low oxygen concentration. 2. White blood cells. The white blood cells are larger, but fewer than the red blood cells. They are also produced in the bone marrow. They help to protect us against diseases.
How many kinds of white blood cells do we have?
There are 2 kinds of white blood cells, namely A. Phagocyles. The phagocytes attack and kill bacteria that enter the body. B. Lymphocytes. Lymphocytes produce chemicals called antibodies. These antibodies neutralize or make poisons harmless. 3. Blood platelets. The blood platelets help blood to clot during injuries. When the blood vessel is injured, soluble proteins in the plasma form a long sticky thread called fibrin. The fibrin forms a very fine network of fibers, which trap the blood cells and cause the formation of a blood clot. Mammalian blood circulation, flow of blood through the heart.